for the final interview.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you can start now.
Okay. I'll connect with my laptop, sir.
So our goal is to develop competency in the students.
Yes, sir.
So that they can develop their own career in near future.
Yes.
So we are organizing the mock interview now. So first presenter is Monalisha Pattanayak. So I'm requesting Monalisha Pattanayak to start the presentation.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, Monalisha. So please you join by one. If you join by two system, then one will be totally off.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So a hearty welcome to online 6 months training on Foundation of Applied Psychometrics, organized by Rabindrik Psychotherapy Research Institute Trust, registered academic trust, registered academic trust by Indian Trust Act 1882. This is the registration number. So coming to my topic. So I was done the internship on impact of environmental knowledge on pro-environmental attitude, a study conducted among the college students. And my guide is Dr. Devdulal Dattaray sir, President RPRIT. So this is the acknowledgement. I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who contributed to my research project entitled Impact of Environmental Knowledge and Pro-Environmental Attitude, a study conducted among the college students. I am particularly grateful to my supervisor, Dr. Devdulal Dattaray sir, for his invaluable guidance and expertise in overseeing the project. His insights and feedback were essential in shaping its direction. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to all the participants who volunteered their name and effort to participate in this study. Without their participation, the
Okay,
project would.
Monalisha, please go to the objective. Go
Yes,
to
sir.
the objective. Okay.
So this is the agenda for my study. So coming to my objective, these are the three objectives of my study: to examine the pattern of environmental knowledge among the college students, to examine the pattern of environmental knowledge, pro-environmental attitude among the college students. Sir, it was mistake, but I did the thing.
Yeah,
To
please
examine
change.
both the relationship between environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude among the college students. It is somewhat mistake, but I did. Sir. So coming to review of literature, I just highlighted some of the literatures of environmental knowledge by Meffert et al. And Dovers et al. 2010. Then pro-environmental attitude, definition by Scholes et al. 2004 and Gillia 2021 and Dunlap et al. 2000. Then I highlighted the environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude literature by Dunlap et al. 1978 and Lorenzoni and Pidgeon 2006. The research gap. So there is a need for research to delve into specific domains of environmental knowledge, such as biodiversity, climate change or resource conservation. So understanding differential impact of knowledge in these specific areas could inform targeted educational interventions. So the temporal aspect of relationship between environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude is inadequately explored. So there should be some longitudinal study to track the changes in knowledge and attitudes over the time, would provide insight into sustainability of attitude change and identify critical periods for effective educational intervention. So we can also do the role of socio-demographic factors in mediating the relationship between environmental knowledge and attitudes need for further attention. Exploring factors like socio-economic status, cultural background, and geographical location could enhance the study's applicability and inform tailored educational strategies. Overall, there is a need for more nuanced examination of environmental knowledge, a temporal understanding of its impact, and an exploration of socio-demographic factors to bridge existing gaps in future research. So this is the method I applied. This is the method for my study. And study participant, the college students aged 18 to 28 age. So total sample size I collected 215. So here 140 male candidate and 75 female candidates. They participated in this online survey. Then representation of diverse disciplines. So I am taking both the technical background as well as the non-technical background. So my sample size is are from diverse discipline. BTech in civil, mechanical, CSC, EE, biotechnology. These are the 5 branches of students of BTech. Then BBA, that is the non-technical background. And BSc in AG, that is the non-technical background. Then research design, I have applied the correlational research design. Aim is to explore the relationships between variables within the participant pool. Then age and discipline diversity, comprehensive understanding of potential correlation, valuable insight into targeted fields. The study was to unveil patterns and connection among factors relevant to selected disciplines. The study enhances overall depth and applicability of the study. Tools use general information schedule developed to obtain demographic and personal data of participants. Include 7 items such as name, age, sex, contact number, address, educational status, field of specialization. Pro-environmental attitude questionnaire developed by Dr. sir. in the year 2022 designed to assess differential patterns of pro-environmental attitude in 8 areas including recycling, environmental safety, perceived control, social support, environmental reduction, environmental sensitivity, reuse and conservation. Each area has a different number of items and reliability coefficient, that is alpha. So total number of items are 44 items for pro-environmental attitude questionnaire. Environmental knowledge questionnaire developed by Dutray in the year 2023 created to assess environmental knowledge consists of 22 items. Examples of items include awareness of regions for acid rain. The reliability coefficient alpha is 0.92 for this questionnaire. Environmental knowledge questionnaire. Data collection procedure. This data collection procedure combines digital and in-person methods. Primary online tool was used for my study, that is Google Form, that facilitates efficient data entry and submission, streamlined and accessible platform. In-person interaction where there persons are required. So researchers meet students face-to-face. So I met the student face-to-face in my college. I explained the study, addressed the queries, and ensured the clarity during my data collection time. Hybrid approach that accommodates diverse preferences and technological access. Hybrid approach, it maximizes response rates while maintaining a personal connection, utilizing both Google Form and in-person engagement that enhances the effectiveness and inclusivity of the data collection process. Statistical analysis that involves the descriptive statistics, summarizes and characterizes participant environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitudes. It measures the measures include mean and standard deviation, provides a comprehensive understanding of distribution and helps in data interpretation and trend identification. Inferential statistics utilizes the Pearson correlation coefficient, examines the relationship between environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude. Statistical software, possibly I use the RStudio for data processing and also use the Excel. Outcomes or results contribute to a comprehensive understanding of correlation within specified variable, offer valuable insight into environmental perspective of college students. Study aim. I have the 3 objectives for my study: to examine the patterns of environmental knowledge among the college students. Second, to examine the patterns of pro-environmental attitude among the college students. Third, to examine the relationship between environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude among the college students. So data analysis tools, Excel and RStudio. Calculation, mean and standard deviation of scores and tests measuring environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude. Statistical analysis. Pearson correlation was used to examine the relationship between environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude. Focus is to environmental perspectives and attitudes among the college students. So this is the results and discussion for table 1. For my table 1, my first objective. So this is the result of each item. So for my table 1, to examine the pattern of environmental knowledge among the college students, the items are like 22 items. So here the total mean, that is grand mean, is 3.5756 and standard deviation is 1.09. So this is the item wise mean and standard deviation for the table 1. So findings for table 1, the mean score for environmental knowledge among college students is 3.56 with standard deviation of 1.09. On average, student possess a moderate level of environmental knowledge with some variability in individual levels of understanding. Topics such as greenhouse gas emissions, ozone depletion, deforestation impacts, acid rain, and air pollution's effects on respiratory health are well understood with mean score above 3.5. Some topics like anti-poaching measures and understanding human causes of wildfires have slightly lower mean scores, indicating a slightly lower level of understanding among students. Standard deviation for most items are around 1, suggesting moderate variability in students' knowledge level across different topics. Topics like deforestation's impact on water quality and threats to marine animals and birds due to water pollution exhibit higher standard deviation, indicating greater diversity in understanding among students. While college students generally possess a moderate level of environmental knowledge, there are variations in their understanding of specific environmental issues. These findings can inform the design of targeted educational intervention to enhance students' environmental literacy and awareness. This is the finding for table 1. Then suggestion for table 1. So targeted educational initiative should be taken care. Develop workshop, seminar, interactive session focusing on areas where students can show lower understanding such as anti-poaching measures, human causes of wildfires, overpopulation's impact on habitats, and unplanned urbanization consequences. Second, hands-on learning experience should be there. Incorporate practical exposure to environmental issues through field trips, outdoor activities, and real-world scenarios to deepen students' understanding. Third, interdisciplinary approach. Integrate environmental topics across disciplines like science, social studies, economics, and technology to highlight their interconnectedness and relevance. Use of technology. Utilize multimedia resources, interactive simulations, and virtual labs to supplement traditional teaching methods and enhance the student engagement. Promote critical thinking, encourage analysis of environmental issues from multiple perspectives, fostering or increasing problem solving skills through discussions, debates, and case studies. Community engagement, facilitate student involvement in local communities and environmental organizations through volunteer work, internships, and collaborative projects. So, assessment and feedback, continuously assess student knowledge through quizzes, assignments, and surveys.
Quick conclusion.
Okay, sorry. So, this is the table 2 to examine pattern of pro-environmental attitude among the college students. These are the mean of different items. 8 items, and this is the total mean, grand mean, and total standard deviation for my table 2 statistics I have done in Excel. These are the findings. Sorry, findings for table 2. These are some of the suggestions for table 2.
Okay, next.
Table 3. Yes, sir. And then.
Okay, so now I am asking you a few questions. That is, this is the part of applied psychometrics. Okay, so have you shown anything related to applied psychometrics in your presentation? This is related to your course on applied psychometrics. Okay. Have you shown anything about the applied psychometrics in your presentation? You have shown the descriptive statistics and the correlation between the environmental knowledge and pro-environmental attitude.
Yeah.
And my question, that is, this course is applied psychometrics. So have you shown anything about applied psychometrics in your presentation? What do you
Yes,
mean by
sir.
the applied psychometrics?
We are using the psychological measures which we can use in the industrial purpose, sir.
No, I am asking what is applied psychometrics? What is psychometrics?
Psychometrics is we are doing some psychological measurements, sir.
So what is applied psychometrics?
We are applying it into different industry related things.
But have you administered this questionnaire in the industry? Do you have any idea about the item analysis? Any idea about the item analysis?
Item analysis using the questionnaire, sir.
Yes. In applied psychometrics, item analysis is very important. Have you done item analysis?
Item analysis, the environmental knowledge item wise analysis I done in Excel.
Have you done item analysis? Okay. Have you tested the reliability? Have you tested the reliability of your tool? Do you have any idea about the data visualization?
Yes, sir. Data visualization we are doing in the R Studio by
Yeah,
seeing the practical picture.
yeah, but have you presented anything about the data visualization in your PPT?
Data visualization, I did not get any, sir. I'll
Okay,
put
so
the script, I can show the data visualization part.
okay. So I think now you have understood what are the limitations in your presentation.
Sir, again, please tell.
Have you understood the limitations in your presentation?
Yes, yes, some data visualization part I will include. I may.
Yeah, that part is important. Item statistics, that is also important. You have not shown any item statistics. That is vital.
Tell me more about it, how to put these things. I kept the table wise I described, but how to put the item statistics things such?
Item statistics, that is the item, the construct correlation, item total correlation.
So mine was just descriptive statistics in Excel and R Studio, sir.
No, that is okay. That is the descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics is not the item statistics. Descriptive
Okay.
statistics basically the describing the psychological phenomena. But that is not the item statistics. Item statistics, it includes item total correlation, discrimination power of the item. These things are related to the item statistics. Okay. Another thing that is in your presentation, in your PPT presentation, you have shown the text, but that text you can present by using the data visualization. Since you know the RStudio, Excel, everything, so you can present your data, that is which environmental knowledge is related to pro-environmental attitude more, or which environmental knowledge is high in comparison with others. That you can show, because your objective is to examine the pattern of environmental knowledge, to examine the pro-environmental attitude. But you are presenting only the text and the mean, but you are not comparing the mean. You have to compare the mean. Okay. So we can understand that is where the mean is high and where the mean is low. Accordingly, you can give the suggestion. But whatever your suggestion, that is not related to your result. So these are the limitations in your presentation. Okay. So thank you, Mona Lisa, for the presentation, and you have understood the limitation of your presentation. And please you read again, what is applied psychometrics? What is the difference between psychometrics and applied psychometrics? Why do we learn applied psychometrics? It is not the psychological measurement, it is more than that. Okay, so Farah, who is the next?
Sir, Anjali.
Okay. Anjali, please you share your presentation.
Sir, sorry, sir, my presentation is not complete.
Oh God.
I'm really sorry, sir. I am working on it, but it is not finished.
Today is the mock interview.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so I am asking you a few questions.
Yes, sir.
And please tell me, what are the objectives of your study?
Yes, sir. Sir, so my study was a comparative study between the students studying in environmental science disciplines and those students who are studying in non-environmental science disciplines at master's level. So the main objective were to examine the difference of pro-environmental attitude between those students who are studying in the environmental science and non-environmental science disciplines. And the second objective was to examine the difference of pro-environmental behavior between those students in the two groups. The third was to examine the difference of level of nature relatedness between the students studying in environmental science and non-environmental science disciplines.
Okay, so this course is related to the applied psychometrics.
Yes, sir.
Have you applied anything about applied psychometrics principles?
Yes, sir. So, when we were examining the difference of pro-environmental attitude, or all the measures, like three measures were there: pro-environmental attitude, behavior, and nature relatedness. So, to see the difference, we used R, in which we did the t-test among the two groups. When we found that overall there are differences in the two groups, we then further we checked the sub dimensions, that whether the sub dimensions are having any difference. Then we found that in the pro environmental attitude, because there was no significant difference, we found that from the same 7 dimensions, only 1 dimension was having a significant difference. Then in the from the sec for the second objective, we found that in the pro environmental behavior, the overall scores were showing a significant difference in the two groups. But we further, when analyzed the data, we found out that from the subdomains, which were 6 domains which were part of pro environmental behavior, only 3 domains were having significant difference, and other 3 were not having any significant difference between the two groups. Again, in the nature relatedness also, we found that the overall difference was there, significant difference was there, but in among the 3 domains of nature relatedness, only 2 domains were showing significant difference. Further, we analyzed the internal consistency of all the items, in which helped us to understand that whether the participants have understood or the items properly or not. In that, we found out that two of the subdomains, which was one was a subdomain of pro environmental attitude, its alpha level was zero point 0.6, which showed that there was little, maybe because it has come low, it shows that the items were not maybe properly understood by the students. And the same was with one subdomain of water conservation in the pro environmental behavior scale. uh, uh, Yes, sir. Other than that, all the other domains had more than zero point 0.7 of alpha level, so which showed that there was high internal consistency. Again, sorry, one more domain was there in which the consistency was low, which was the nature relatedness experience subdomain of nature relatedness. Yes, sir.
Okay. That means you are dealing with the total score. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This nature
Sir,
related means total score, pro environmental attitude, several domains are there,
yes,
and
sir.
you are using the total score, okay, by the domain. But why do you add? Why do you make this total score?
Sir, I did not get it. Pardon, please.
How do you
What was?
what? Why do you use the total score?
Yes, sir. A total score I used for the whole sample, because when the significant difference was not found out in the two groups, so I used the total score to understand that what was the average response of overall, because there was no significant difference. The whole sample can be considered as one, and thus the total score will give us some information.
Yeah,
Like,
that is clear. My point is
okay.
that you are dealing with the domain. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So domain-wise total score you are using. That means you have added the
The
item score, item
yes,
response score. Okay, and then you get the total score.
yes, sir.
So why do you use this total score? Why do you add the items?
Sir, I add the items to get the total score for the particular domain which we are looking at.
That is true, but why?
Because
Have you checked anything about the item properties?
uh, because all the items which were developed, those items showed. I think no, sir. I don't exactly know the answer, but
Yes, you are telling correct. Now you tell.
oh, okay. Like I am saying that because for example, as just to understand, on different level. So when we are talking about one scale, when we talk about the total score of that scale, it gives a total understanding of that particular thing. So for example, pro environmental attitude, when we are talking about the total score which a person has got on pro environmental attitude, it will only talk about the total thing and not about the different aspects which are of their which are there in represented in the domains which it has. So for example, there are 7 domains of pro environmental attitude. So the total score will encapsulate all of that, but we will not be knowing about uh, the particular domains. So we total it because all the domains overall are giving us some understanding, and that is what why we are looking at the total score of pro environmental attitude. Similarly, if we go on the domain level, the items are all the different aspects which represents that particular domain of the skill.
Yeah, I understand. My point, which statistics are important to assess the total score? Which statistics are important for determining the total score? Which statistics?
Sir, we use that lower code to know the item correlation coefficient of all the items which we used.
Okay.
Which told us about like what all items, how consistent they are, I don't exactly know. Okay.
That means the items of the specific domain.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm trying.
They are related with the total score significantly.
Yes. So like significantly, so we will be using that to know that how much the each of the items, or whatever the responses are, each of the items are related to the total score consistently or not. So sometimes in some domains, as you have shown, like we have found that some items were not very correlated, which was showing that maybe some students have not understood the question or the item properly and have not responded properly.
Okay, I understand. My point, that is, can we add all the domain total score to get the pro environmental attitude score?
Yes, sir, that we can do.
Okay, that is true. We can do. But for that reason, which statistics is important to understand whether we can add the domain-wise total score?
Sir, I don't know, sir. Internal consistency maybe of all the domains which we check. That all the
No.
correlation.
If all the domains are correlated with each other, then we can think that is means they are
so correlation coefficient which we checked.
Yeah. Okay. Then we can compute the total score of the pro environmental attitude.
And similarly, we can check this on the domain level as well, right, sir?
Yeah, similarly, we can do the same thing for the domain level, that is item total correlation. So one is the domain and the grand mean correlation. Another one is the item and the domain mean correlation.
Yes, okay.
So this is the statistics. Now, when you find that is all the items are highly correlated with each other,
yes,
whether your Cronbach's alpha will be 0.60 or 0.80 or 0.90 or 0.90 above.
Sir, if if the correlation coefficient of all the items is high.
Yeah, if they are very highly correlated with each other, then what will be the Cronbach's alpha?
So it will be 0.8 and above.
0.8 and above. Okay. Now, Cronbach's alpha is measuring the internal consistency.
Yes,
What
sir.
is the meaning of internal consistency?
Okay. Sir, internal consistency means that that they will be highly positive, like they will be positively correlated, which means that um, like the internal consistency, that the reliability will be there. That is what we check. I don't know how exactly to put it in words.
What is internal consistency?
Um, Sir, okay, wait. Internal consistency.
Okay, can you tell me any two items of any particular domain in which you have done some studies?
Okay. So any two items of any domain in
Yeah.
sir, like for example, for pro-environmental attitude is there, right? Or yeah, pro-environmental attitude is there, and we have found that all the all the questions, uh, sorry, all the domains were highly internal, like high on internal consistency, and the alpha was high. It means that that
No,
all the items
follow me.
were highly
Please follow me.
correlated.
No. I am asking you, please you tell me at least two statements for
Okay,
only
statement,
one
sir.
domain.
I'll have to open. Okay, sir. One minute. Um, yeah. So for pro-environmental attitude, the first domain was recycling, and the two items were, first was, I think recycling of products is important, and the second was, I upcycle old products into new and useful items.
Okay. So, what will be the correlation between these two items?
Sir, I will open that. One minute. I will open the document.
You can guess.
Oh, okay. The consistency will be high, so it will be above point 0.7.
How 0.7? What is your first item?
The first item is
Do you
I
find any, do you find the
recycling of
same
products is
level of
important.
understanding? Do you
What, sir?
find the same level of understanding between these two items? Same level of understanding?
Same level of understanding in the sense?
These two items,
Yes, sir.
whether they carry same level of understanding, same level of knowledge,
No, not exactly.
then you cannot tell na, it is the correlation more than 0.7, 0.8 like that.
So, okay. But like we have found that if it is highly this thing, if the coefficient is high, the
You check it.
overall coefficient of the domain was 0.77.
Yeah, that is overall. I am
Hmm.
telling only this correlation between these two items.
Okay.
Okay, now.
So for that, we have to again do the.
Okay, Anjali. Now you have noted that is some level of pro-environmental attitude, okay, among the
Yes,
college students.
yes,
And
sir.
I am requesting you, please you increase the pro-environmental attitude of the college students.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Then what will be your research design?
Okay, for increasing the on the basis of
Pro-environmental,
whatever results I have got. Uh,
yeah. So what will be your research design?
okay. For research design will be experimental,
Hmm.
in which I will, according to the, because I have found that those students, sir, but on the basis of the study, actually the attitude did not had any difference in the people who were studying or not.
How? You have noted some pro-environmental attitude level, okay, among
Yes.
the students. It might be 3.5 or 3.6 like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my point that is, okay, whatever the pro-environmental attitude is there, you are the applied psychometrician. So
Hmm.
I am requesting you to enhance the pro-environmental attitude among the college students. Then
Okay.
what will be your research design? What will be your plan?
Okay. My to increase the pro-environmental attitude and behavior, all of that, we will have to create more awareness about among the students. So the design could be like experimental, in which we can first check the pro-environmental attitude level of the students and then give them some support in order to understand what is the condition of the environment, and then how what measures can be taken. And in one group we can make as control group, and the other we can make as the experimental group, in which we'll be giving the intervention, and then we can again check that whether the intervention had an effect or not. uh, like that,
That
like
is true. That is
hmm.
true. That is as a psychologist, but not
Okay,
as a applied psychometrician.
okay.
As
So
applied
for that,
psychometrician, what will be your strategy?
sir, my strategy would be, so for example, I have this data of 401 students. So
Yes.
on the basis of that, I will analyze that what all the domains we are, what all domains are coming as very low. So for example, we can see the when we check the group among EVS and non-EVS, we can see that the difference is how the difference is there. So in that, for example, if suppose we are getting the data for the for the pro-environmental attitude, in which the recycling domain, right? So in the recycling domain, we have found out that um, the the correlation among um, what all domains, suppose the 7 domains are there, so in that what is coming as low, what is not there. On the basis of that, and then again moving on to the level of the items, like what all items we have found out. Suppose like there were I just now I remember, that for this item number 2 only, I upcycle old products into new and useful items. They have got really low score. Other than the 7 items were there in the recycling domain, in which in one item of upcycle old products into new and useful items, they have got low. Like the correlation was low with all the other um, items. So in this, we can, on the basis of this, that particularly finding out that what thing they are not using or not utilizing. So on the basis of that, we can uh, plan some intervention. So similarly, for example, for nature
So which
relatedness.
statistics you are following? You are applied psychometrician, right? So applied psychometrician, how
Follow the
can handle, how can design the intervention strategy? The applied psychometrician's intervention strategy and psychologist intervention strategy will not be the same. So how you will be different from the psychologist?
Sir, with the intercorrelations we can define, like the intercorrelations can be used to understand that what particular item in a particular domain is projecting. Like for example, in the suppose one item is there, right, in waste management, one item is there which is saying I decompose biodegradable waste into compost.
Yes, my point that is, why do you select this item?
If it is showing very low intercorrelation with all the other items.
No, the predictive power. You have to find out the predictive power of the item. Relative predictive power. If the item has more predictive power,
Okay.
then you can select that particular item. And your intervention strategy will follow.
So how can we find that relative predictive power if it is coming as high? Like having an...
Yeah, that is simple correlation you can find out. And after that, you can do the regression analysis.
Okay. So this will be, sir, multiple regression in terms of whether
multiple regression. Yeah, multiple regression you can do. Then you can find out.
So we will be putting the total score, like how much total score is being predicted
by the
each of the items.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So it is not based upon the high score or low score.
Okay.
The psychologist will deal with the high score and the low score, but you are applied psychometrician. You are dealing with the item properties and you are changing the mindset of the individual.
Okay. So we can focus on the basis of like each of the items. So
predictive power.
Predictive power. So if suppose one item is
high predictive power, that means that item is
whatever that item is concerned with, we can do more on that.
Particularly for designing your training.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. That is the function of applied psychometrician. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So who is the next now?
Sir, Varsha.
Okay. Varsha, please share.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please share your PPT.
Sir, is it visible?
Yeah. Please, you go to the objective.
So, good evening to everybody. Today, I'll be talking to you about my research work, which I have done as an exploratory study on writing motivation and note-taking behavior of college students of India. So basically, we'll be going through about a quick look of what we will be doing in this. So a quick introduction to the variables which I have been working on. One is writing motivation, another is note-taking behavior. Writing motivation is something, we know that motivation is something that works on. It is the driving force which gives us strength to do something. Writing motivation is concerned with writing part of the motivation. There are various domains which has been worked on. There are various things on which people have worked for writing motivation, but we will be focusing on one part of it. Next is note-taking behavior. Note-taking is one of the integral element in educational sector, and it acts as an interaction between students and teachers. There are various ways of note-taking which has been studied by people, and similarly various ways of various types of motivation is being studied in literature, which has been present there. What I have found out that people have been studying self-efficacy and interest part in motivations and note-taking. They were studying types of note-taking, what note-taking is. So there was not a very good kind of thing that was talking about what could relate motivation with note-taking, which is an integral part of education or knowledge gaining. I took this opportunity to search the motives which could drive a person to acquire note taking. So this is the thing which I have been exploring in my research. So my aim was to find out the relationship about with the various motives that people have towards writing and how they are related to note-taking behavior that they show. Second thing is, I was also interested to know which type of motivation was more prevalent, which type of motivation was more related towards note-taking behavior. So the method I have used, the participants are basically the males and females. 54 males and 57 females of college students have been there. Age group average mean age to be around 20 to 20.86 years and standard deviation of 2.3. So my sample generally consists of college students age group 17 to 28 years, and I have taken graduates and postgraduates both. So maximums were graduate, around N was 79. 70% of the sample, 70.5% was around graduates, and rest was postgraduates. The tools which I have used, three things I have used in that. First is writing motivation, created by Datta Roy sir in 2003. This consists of 21 items, and it is a forced choice method. So for each anchor question, anchor statement, two options have been given, of which one only has to be chosen. And this tool consists of consists of intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Subsets are there. Under intrinsic motivation, 4 motives are being given: documentation, achievement, creativity, and one more is there. Okay. And extrinsic motivation is being covered under as affiliation, recognition, and punishment avoidance. So with this tool, I was interested to know how it is being related. Next is my note-taking behavior. There was no such note-taking behavior being studied in the literature so far. So I constructed this tool. It consisted of 30 items at first, and that 30 items was studied. It scored at 5-point Likert scale. The Cronbach alpha was 0.84, and good internal consistency was being found. Introductory data was collected about age, their education qualification, their specialization, and income, so that we could further explore this study. Now, based on this note-taking behavior, when I studied this note-taking behavior, I found that out of the 30 items, only 23 items were showing good correlation with good inter-item correlation. Rest all were not showing good correlation. So we removed those items, and then found the Cronbach alpha. That Cronbach alpha improved to 0.84. So we retained these 23 items and rejected those seven items. So as I plotted the box plot of these 23 items against the mean scores that is being given, the plot shows that the interquartile range is around 275 to 4.9 around. And there are only few outliers which are there, which could be manageable. And mean is around, median is around 3.75. And if you see the box plot, it shows a bit of symmetry. So the skewness of data is also not being visualized here. So the constructed test construction appears to be good. Now, in the result and discussion part, as I have told, my two study materials, two variables are writing motivation and note-taking behavior. Under writing motivation, documentation, emotional experiences, achievement, creativity were the intrinsic motivation. If you see the mean of these things, the maximum score of mean score is of achievement, and the minimum of this category is creativity. And extrinsic motivation, maximum is recognition part. Yes, college students require recognition as part of their enrollment in the course program. So it is quite a bit high. And the least is affiliation. Yes, they don't act on for love and affection part of the thing. Yes, and then note-taking behavior also mean score is 3.75, which appears to be good. Result, I did correlational study, and then followed with that I did a regressional study. So under correlational study, I have summed up the intrinsic, the subdomains of intrinsic motivation, and the mean of that is 3.71. And yes. So if you see this correlation, you can see that there is significant correlation between note-taking behavior and intrinsic motivation, and equally a negative correlation, but significant correlation with extrinsic motivation, which says that this instrument, writing motivation instrument, correlates quite well, and is we know that extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation act oppositely. So they score also oppositely, negative and positive. Confidence level is around 95%. Yes, if we see to the mean of this intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation, so intrinsic motivation seems to be more than intrinsic motivation, and hence, as I was searching which type of motivation is contributing towards note-taking behavior, we see that intrinsic motivation contributes higher towards note-taking behavior than extrinsic motivation. Next is the regression analysis. Now, if you see the table of the regression analysis, we all know that regression analysis talks about a regression line, which will help you to predict it talks about the predictivity of the thing. Yes, so in this concept, I have used intrinsic motivation as my predictor and note-taking behavior as the outcome. So this intrinsic motivation contributes around 0.09. If you see this regression line, you'll see that the intercept is 2.39 and 0.09 times of x. So that means that my y variable, that is my note-taking behavior, can be expressed as 0.09 times my intrinsic motivation plus the intercept, that is 2.39. That means that if there is 1 unit change of intrinsic motivation is taking place, that will bring about 0.09 times 0.09 times the change in y. So that means, for example, suppose 1 is the 1 unit change of intrinsic motivation has taken place. So y value becomes 2.39 plus 0.09. That means 2.48. So that has increased by 0.09. So that means that much times it is able to predict the note-taking behavior that is changing. Suppose this intrinsic motivation.
Next.
So based on these findings, I find that this research could help the teachers and administrators to use this intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation concept to encourage the students towards note-taking behavior and hence improve their hence improve their performance. So it could be helpful in planning good curriculums, which would include much of these intrinsic motives, so that the students could purposefully involve themselves in note-taking.
Okay, Varsha. Okay. Now you go to the definition of writing motivation. Yeah, and is there any definition of writing motivation here?
I have not written definition here, sir.
Accomplish a work. Is it a writing motivation definition?
No, sir, it is not about writing motivation.
Yeah, and next you go to the note-taking behavior. Is it the definition of the note-taking behavior?
No, sir.
Okay. Now you go to the box plot. And what is the interquartile range? You have told interquartile range.
Interquartile range is around 3.5 to 4. Around 3.5 to 4, I think so.
Okay. Now you go to the test tool. Is it the writing motivation? Is it the tool?
Writing motivation scale, sir.
Yeah, so it is not the tool. Writing motivation is the measure.
Yes, sir. Writing motivation scale.
Okay, now you go to the regression. Now, based upon the regression line, can you tell that is which student will be more motivated intrinsically? Therefore, the note-taking behavior will be enhanced. And which students will be the role model?
Sir, if you see the regression line, the maximum score part is intrinsic motivation is maximum given by this 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th column, sir. So these people would be more contributing towards note taking, sir.
And who will be trained more?
Training is required to those who are not having good things. So probably
How do you get it? Yeah. So this person, you have to find out this person who are away from the regression line.
these people.
Yeah, these people. Okay.
Yes.
So that is the function of applied psychometrician. Anjali,
Yes.
it is clear now?
Yes, sir.
So the predicting power is most important part. Now,
Yes,
Basha, can you tell me what do you mean by the applied psychometrics?
Applied psychometrics is, sir, where we take the knowledge from basic things and apply it to the present problem which we are facing.
So you are doing a lot of the item analysis. Why? Is it psychometrics? Are you telling about the applied psychometrics? Or you are telling the applied psychology? What is the difference between applied psychology and applied psychometrics?
Sir, applied psychometrics is the people will, yes, item analysis would be doing important, sir, in applied psychometrics, because I am not just trying to get a score part of the thing. I want that which all things are the best things that would define the thing which I am measuring. So I don't want the number part of the thing. I want
So
those.
whether you have done anything about the applied psychometrics in your presentation, whether you have done anything about the applied psychometrics.
Sir, when I showed the box plot part of the thing.
Yeah, box plot you have shown that is the distribution of the data. But is it applied psychometrics?
Yes, yes, sir, because when I defined this part of the thing, I said, sir, I have chosen only 23 items out of 30 items, sir.
Yes,
so
so
that
you
means
have not shown the 30 items. You have not shown the change in the between the two condition. One is the item total correlation of 30 items. Another one is the item total correlation of the 23 items. And then we have to find out the change between the two. That will be the applied psychometrician function.
Okay.
Because you have not shown. You have told that is out of 30 items, I have selected 23 items. Okay, but you have not shown. That means whatever your presentation, it is a presentation, very good presentation for a psychology student, but not for the applied psychometrician.
Okay, sir.
So be careful about it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
External expert, they will ask you the same question repeatedly.
Yes.
What do you mean by the applied psychometrics? What is the applied psychometrics in your presentation?
Yes,
so
sir.
I am requesting all the students, please, you again study applied psychometrics, the introductory paper 1. I have discussed. And what is called psychometrics and what is called applied psychometrics. Why applied psychometrician is important nowadays? Okay, thank you, dear
Thank you,
student.
sir.
Thank you,
So,
sir.
thank you, Anjali. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you, Mona Lisa. Thank you, Farah. Farah, please you arrange the next class.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please you leave. And
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Good night, sir.
good night.